And the Indian government is facing fire for citing the secrecy clause in not revealing details of the $8.7 billion Rafale deal with France and why it had passed over an offer for the Eurofighter Typhoon, which was much cheaper. Now, there was a uproar in the upper house of Parliament on Friday. The cue was provided by Congress President Rahul Gandhi himself. Ahead of the session, he tweeted, and I quote, "Negotiated for each Rafale jet by Prime Minister and his reliable buddy is a state secret," he said there. India's Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said details of the deal cannot be disclosed as India had signed the secrecy pact with France. Now, she said, and I quote, "As per the Article 10 of the Intergovernmental Agreement between Government of India and Government of France on the Rafale aircraft, the protection of the classified information and material exchanged under IGA is governed by the provisions of the security agreement signed between the two nations." The argument cut no ice. On Friday, opposition leader Rahul Gandhi continued to mock the government's defence.
हमारे 3 सवाल हैं। आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बदला पेरिस में जाके? आपने कैबिनेट कमेटी ऑन सिक्योरिटी से पूछा था हां या ना? और आपने क्या दाम हवाई जहाज के लिए दिया?
But is there substance to the Congress attack? Is the Indian Defence Minister wrong in refusing to divulge details of the deal, citing the secrecy clause? Or was the minister at fault merely for having earlier promised that she would provide the necessary information? What's interesting is that the Congress is attacking an argument that it itself had provided when in power. In a written reply in the upper house of Indian Parliament on March 6, 2013, the then Defence Minister A.K. Antony cited the secrecy clause under the Italian law to deny disclosure of information on the Augusta-Westland VVIP helicopter deal. He said then, and I quote, "Given the independence of the Italian judiciary from the executive and the preliminary investigations being covered by secrecy clause under the Italian law, no concrete information was received," end quote. He said then. So what is the truth? Is the government obliged to reveal how it spends taxpayers' money when it goes for a mega defence deal like this? In fact, secrecy in the name of national security is a norm around the world. The secrecy clause is an accepted and inherent part of multi-million-dollar defence deals. In the name of national security, most defence pacts are shielded from the right to information. Just last year, Turkey's Defence Procurement Office had refused to disclose details of a contract with Russia for acquisition and deployment of Russian S-400 long-range air and anti-missile defence system. It said the details could not be disclosed because of secrecy clauses in the contract. Similarly was the case with most countries as well. The Indian government has rejected the opposition's allegations on the multi-million-dollar Rafale deal with France. The Ministry of Defence has termed the allegations as serious but unfounded. The government said it would not reveal the exact item-wise costs and other information of the Rafale deal as it would compromise national security. The government also said that all necessary approvals, including that of the Cabinet Committee on Security, had been taken before the deal was struck. It said the demand that the government disclose details and value of the contract for the Rafale aircraft contracted in 2016 was unrealistic. The government said it was merely following in letter and spirit the confidentiality provisions of a bilateral India-France agreement of 2008 signed by the previous government. Now, the government noted that the Defence Minister under the previous Congress regime had exercised an unprecedented personal veto on the procurement of 126 medium multi-role combat aircrafts, even as there was an alarming decline in the IAF's fighter strength. Joining us live on the program is our senior correspondent, Raghavendra Rao. Raghavendra, the Ministry of Defence says unfounded allegations are being made. What's the truth and what's the reality here?
Well, clearly a lot of politics is at play, Jessica, and the kind of fireworks which we saw in the parliament today with the opposition trying to corner the government on this multi-million dollar deal, the Rafale deal with France. It's clear that the opposition senses a political opportunity here. The fact that Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has gone out to say in Parliament in reply to a written question that the details and the per unit price of Rafale fighter jets cannot be revealed due to a secrecy clause which India is a signatory to with France. Now that has given the opposition parties the fodder they required to corner the government. But as we have been mentioning, it is a very routine procedure which is normally followed in such high value contracts. Confidentiality is one of the major clauses which is signed whenever two major countries sign such huge deals, and this is nothing that has not happened in the past. Even in earlier defense deals, India has signed such secrecy pacts with several countries while negotiating contracts worth billions of dollars to get either arms or equipment from those countries. So there is more politics at play here than actual substance, and the government is actually well within its rights to cite the secrecy clause and also cite national security as the reason for not divulging these exact details. But what needs to be noted here is the fact that the government has made it clear that all necessary approvals and those two from the top levels. Now the Cabinet Committee on Security is the highest decision-making body when it comes to defense matters and procurements. The matter has been debated and cleared by the CCS. That itself goes on to show that the government, that is what the government would want to project, that, you know, the decision-making happened at the highest level. All processes were followed, but yes, there are certain deals, there are certain clauses to a deal which cannot be divulged in the public domain.